Have been waiting for the status of Deebo Samuel as we get prepared for the NFC Championship game coming up against the Lions. Obviously, that was a huge domino that we have been waiting to see fall, and we have some updates, and they're good ones at that. So, we're going to discuss all of that. We're going to discuss everything San Francisco 49ers right now, but you guys already know what to do. Drop an SDS in the chat, smash that like button, and let's go. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. How are we doing today, faithful? Hopefully, you guys are having a great Thursday as we are one day away from Friday, which means we're one day closer to the NFC Championship game. Ooh, boy, I can't wait. But also, we got some news that we got to talk about. And I do think it's very important news because I do think it's something that most, if not all, 49er fans have been waiting to truly find out. And that is the status of Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel was a limited participant in practice today after not practicing yesterday. Yesterday was just a walkthrough, from my understanding. But Deebo Samuel was back in action in a limited fashion, which is huge news for the San Francisco 49ers. And the reason that is because that's all we needed. I said it at the beginning of the week. I just need one limited participation from Deebo Samuel to tell me he is good to go. And we got it today, and we even got some clips out of Santa Clara today showing Deebo running some routes, doing all different kinds of things. And I think it's safe to say that Deebo is absolutely going to play in this game. So I think that's a good sign for the San Francisco 49ers. And I was kind of saying this as well. All As long as Deebo Samuel didn't have any structural damage, as long as Deebo didn't have a tear, there's no chance in my mind that Deebo Samuel was actually going to miss this game. So, and if you want to see, this is from KNBR. You can be the judge yourself, based on how you see Deebo. And again, it's a shoulder injury, so keep that in mind. But I would say, just based on this one clip, yeah, Deebo's playing. Yeah, Deebo's playing. Are you kidding me? You think for 1 second that Deebo Samuel's going to shut it down in the NFC Championship? If you think he's going to sit it down in the NFC Championship game because he got a little shoulder boo-boo, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Uh, this this is the game you play through every bump, every bruise, every issue. That's what you do. You play through it. So Deebo for sure is playing in this game, and he looks fine. He looks fine. I didn't see any issues with him. Again, it's just one little sample, but sometimes that's all you need. And with Deebo, he's gonna play. He's gonna play. So I would put I would put any doubt that you may have had. I would say any reservation, any type of concern, go ahead, throw it to the side. Deebo Samuel is going to play in this game against the Lions. We also have some Lions updates that I think it's worth noting. I think I'm a little late to this. I posted it today, but I think this news actually came out a day or two ago, so I'm a little late to it. But I didn't see it until now. But I do think it's insanely impactful to this game coming up here. So as you can see, we have a Lions update here, and it's involving the Detroit Lions starting center, who's probably the best center in the league right now. And then you have their left guard, Jonah Williams. So I'm playing catch up, like I said. Apparently, Jonah Williams it has basically been ruled out. He isn't going to play against the San Francisco 49ers. So apparently, he had a pre existing meniscus issue in his knee. I guess he had actual surgery on his meniscus. So, yeah, I don't think their starting left guard is going to play. And then Ragnow is dealing with like 14,000 different injuries at the moment. He has an ankle, a toe, a back, and a knee. Literally, what's that song that you sang in kindergarten? Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Like Ragnow is hurt, but I do expect him to play. He didn't practice. He wasn't available for the walkthrough yesterday. He didn't practice today. He'll probably get a limited participation tomorrow, and he will play, but he is banged up, so that you got to take that into account. And then their left guard, it does not sound like he is going to play. So that's huge, man. That is huge. I went and I looked up their backups. Their backup guards are both second-year players unless they kick a tackle down inside. Their backup guards are second-year players. Never heard of them. And I don't know what type of experience they have, if any. So this could be the point where the 49ers could absolutely exploit that and attack that on the offensive line. So I would love to see that. I would. But how many times have we come on this channel and we pointed out, oh, there's been an O-line injury, and we've said, oh, the defensive line is going to eat, and they don't. So, to all my defensive players who may be checking in on the show, I love you guys, but this is a challenge to you from the Ginger Beard. Let's take advantage of this one. Let's get that pressure on the interior. Eric, Hargrave, Bosa, Young. Let's get after these boys, shall we? This is the perfect opportunity to feast. You have a statue of a quarterback in Jared Goff. You have a little bit of an issue with the offensive line health. I need sharks. I need sharks in the water. I need them to be smelling blood in the water. I need that type of veracity out of this defensive line, and I need them to attack, hunt, and attack. Take down Jared Goff. Ooh. What's the reference? I think it's from The Other Guys. And I think it was that one point where Hoyt says that he is a lion. Oh no, it was a different it was a tuna reference. He said he was a lion. he would go out into the ocean and eat the tuna. I'm not see, I'm not a Ponte. This is where I need a Ponte right here. I kick it to a Ponte, and a Ponte would be able to say bar for bar, word for word, my other guy's reference. I can picture it in my head. I just can't. It just doesn't make it out. But the point being is the blood is in the water, and we need these boys to attack. We need these guys to go get it. And they're going to be limping in here a little bit. They're going to be limping in here a little bit. Let's take advantage of it. Now, will they take advantage of it? That remains to be seen. But that would be my challenge to the boys. That would absolutely be my challenge is let's go. Let's go D-line. Let's be the difference in this game. Let's be the difference. Let's see this defensive line go absolutely ham against the Detroit Lions. I would love to see that. I think that would be a huge boost for the 49ers team as a whole to be able to do that. So we'll see. We'll see how it progresses, and we'll see what the practice reports look like for tomorrow. But the positive with Deebo and the San Francisco 49ers, it's only Deebo. Deebo's the only limited player, everyone else full participant. So the 49ers are healthy. They're going to be good to go, and I can't wait. We do have some award news from earlier today. We have 3 finalists for the NFL honors. We have Christian McCaffrey in 2 categories for MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Brock Purdy, finalist for the MVP, and Kyle Shanahan as a finalist for Coach of the Year. I mean, to be honest, if there was any year for Coach Kyle Shanahan to win that award, I felt like it had to be last year. I don't know how it boggles my mind that Shanny didn't win it last year. And of course, Dabble did a great job with turning that dumpster fire around from the New York Giants and getting Danny to actually look like a quarterback. But Kyle did it with 3 different quarterbacks. Kyle did it with 3 different quarterbacks. He did it with Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Brock Purdy. And he took his team all the way to the NFC Championship game. And beyond that, they went undefeated with a rookie Mr. Irrelevant when he had to come in against the Dolphins. They didn't lose a game. How does that not win Coach of the Year? I don't get it. I don't understand. So if he didn't get it that year, I don't know how he's going to get it this year. I almost feel like Shanahan's in that. He's in that. Like he's not an up and coming coach. He's not up. Nothing about him is like surprising anyone. Everyone expects it. In fact, everyone gives Shanahan all the credit for Brock Purdy's success. But maybe that means he will get Coach of the Year. I don't know, because no one's giving the credit to Brock Purdy. So maybe in a roundabout way, they give it to Shanahan because they're that far dug into discrediting what Brock Purdy does that maybe Kyle gets it. I don't know. I don't see Kyle getting it. I don't know if he'll ever get it, to be honest, unless he goes undefeated or something like that. He's always been regarded as a top coach. He's not, last year would have been the year, in my opinion. I don't know. To be honest, I know it's a talking point, but I would say we know what accolade we want. We know what award we want, at least as fans. So, all right, it is what it is. We have more important things. We have more important things to go after than coach of the year, MVP, and OPOY. Now, I think CMC talked about it today. He said he's honored to be a finalist, and rightfully so. It's absolutely a huge honor, especially for a running back in today's NFL to be an MVP finalist in a quarterback driven award. But just like he said, he's honored, but that's not what he's playing for. He's not playing for the MVP. He's playing for a Super Bowl ring. And that's really what I think everyone inside this locker room is playing for. I really don't think they care about the accolades. I think, deep down they set personal goals for themselves. They set Pro Bowl goals, they set all pro goals. Like we've heard about how Brandon Ayuk was a little pissed off about how he wasn't voted to the Pro Bowl. But that was redeemed by becoming an all pro, which is, I think, more prestigious. Um, so they set individual goals, and they should set individual goals 100%. And you should want to also strive for those things. But I think deep down, they really care about just winning a ring. That's the number one, because they know that if they don't, that's almost as big as a legacy driver, um, than the personal accolades. You get the Super Bowl, um, nothing else matters, right? Nothing else matters. There's Chili. Appreciate it. Chili says, congrats on the 100K. Join the Discord. I know a couple people were asking about it earlier in the week. Join the Discord if you want. Is anyone else experiencing McDonald's Wi-Fi? My Wi-Fi been tripping today. I don't know. You guys noticing that? How are my chat producers? I need my chat producers to check in. Uh is the Wi-Fi acting up today? Am I a little grainy? Got a couple spinning bars of death on this stream already. But hey, whatever. I just froze for a sec. Yeah. All right. Appreciate you guys rocking with me. Could be solar flares. True. True. I do have Xfinity. I do. I've had to cycle through a couple of Wi-Fi providers, as you guys know. So the constant struggle to find that quality Wi-Fi. Hey, I'm still on the hunt. Nothing will be like the old school days. Nothing will be like the garage days. Uh whew, I don't think anything will ever beat that quality. That was bad. The fact that we built this channel on the worst Wi-Fi imaginable, man, that's pretty legendary. That's pretty legendary. I mean, we built this channel on the worst Wi-Fi possible. Uh Amazing. Amazing what you can do with some determination. So, we also had another cool element. I John Lynch joined KMBR earlier today, and he said that Joe Montana will be an honorary captain for this game. And Barry Sanders will be the honorary captain on the opposite side. So that's kind of cool. Yes, last game was a movie, guys. Like, you guys know I get there super early to do pregame content, and the amount of people on the sidelines, I felt like, you know, I've been to an NFC Championship game before at Levi's Stadium. I've been to playoff games before at Levi's Stadium, last year. I do not remember that many stars showing up. it was pretty remarkable how many people that you would know were at that game. And I would imagine it's going to be even more uh, for this NFC Championship game. So it's going to be a wild one for sure. But headline, and we had Steve Young as the honorary captain last week. This week, Joe Montana. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. To see some old legends of the game back in the mix for the 49ers coming up here. And this one, we're gonna be pretty light and loose the rest of the way. So if you guys got questions, comments, feel free to drop any questions that you guys have in the chat. We'll talk about it and all that stuff. We need Steve Young interviewing more players. I would just love if Steve just can we like adopt Steve Young to just be he is a forever Niner, but can we just like literally keep him around? I would love to see Steve in the building every day. I'd love to see Steve around the players. Like I don't know, like put him up in an office, just give him an office and let him kind of do what he wants. Just kind of just Steve Young walking through the hallways at Levi's. Feels like it would just bring some juice. Bring some juice. Yes, I definitely plan on going to this game. I have not purchased tickets yet because I'm sure you have seen that it is very, very expensive. Apparently, this NFC Championship game is going to be on record for the most expensive uh, NFC Championship game on record. So, uh, it's pricey. It's up there. It's up there. Um, I think we talked about this yesterday on State of the Franchise. It's actually insanely expensive almost. Um, like the price jump is probably if I bought my same ticket that I was at last week, I'm probably spending like 700 or 800% more than I did for the previous playoff game. Maybe it might even be more than that. I don't know. But yeah, it's the plan is to go. But also pray for me because these tickets are going to be insane. Going to be insane. But I have to. I feel like I have to. I can't not go. How do I not go? I have to go. And especially since, going all the way out to Philly last year, I gotta go to this one for sure. It's just gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. But uh can you really put a price tag on experiences? I don't know. So we'll see. Oh, dude, I've already been looking at Super Bowl tickets. I've already been looking at Super Bowl tickets because you guys know I'll be there for Super Bowl week. So I'm credentialed to the media week. It's really hard to get credentials into the actual game. So I'll be credentialed for the Super Bowl week. So I'll be able to do all the media stuff all week. But I've been looking at the tickets for the Super Bowl. Oh my gosh. Literally. It's literally like, yeah, it's like a down payment on a house. It's crazy. If you didn't live in California. So uh we'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be intense. But we'll figure it out. If there's a will, there's a way. And listen, if the 49ers go to the Super Bowl, I mean, we've seen how difficult it is for them to get there, even with being as good as they are. I just feel like I have to find a way. Oh, we got Lions fans checking into the chat. All right, here we go. All right, all right. Um, Metal Man says, "I want your honest opinion. How confident do you feel as far as how the championship game goes?" I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty confident. I think I'm more. I think I would have to say that I'm a little bit more confident playing the Lions than I was playing the Packers. I feel like the 49ers match up better against the Lions, especially defensively in a certain sense. I've talked about this before. Biggest element for me is we got to make them one dimensional. And they put a huge emphasis. Steve Wilkes spoke earlier today. Multiple, defenders spoke on it today. They want to stop the run, so they want to put the ball. They're basically telling us they want to put the ball in Jared Goff's hands, and then if you force the ball into Jared Goff's hands, then you're able to initiate pass rush, blitz packages, stunts, and try to generate pressures. And if you can do that to Jared Goff, then you have a higher probability of generating sacks and forcing turnovers. So I really do think that's kind of, from a high level perspective, that's what it's going to be. Stop the run. Do not allow them to get in third and manageable. Keep them in third and longs and force Goff to beat you. I think that's what they're going for. I really do. And I think the biggest thing is once you can do that and then you can generate pressure as a result, then we can get after them. So I am confident. I am confident that the 49ers will be able to take care of business. I don't think it will be a walk in the park by any stretch of the imagination. This is playoff football. The Detroit Lions have a good team, they have a good roster. And their offense has high potency capabilities for sure. But I do think the 49ers, if they can attack this the right way, I think they can get it done. And I think a big part of it too is playing against a quarterback that is a statue in the pocket. I think that's one of the biggest elements from this game coming up is that if you can get to Goff quick, um, you can absolutely affect what they can do. But the big but is you have to do that part of it. If you're not getting pressure and they're able to run their offense and Goff's able to stand in the pocket, he can absolutely pick us apart. Uh, you guys know I have all the respect in the world for Goff. I'm a Goff fan as a former Cal player, but I also know where his deficiencies lie. And so, and I don't think, I think everyone does. So that's going to be it. And I think you look at matchups, I think Brandon Ayuk has an opportunity to have a day. I do. I think Brandon Ayuk can absolutely uh, attack this defense. Who's going to be the likely matchup that they have? Cameron Sutton, Brian Branch. He's proven to be a quality player. Kirby Joseph was a guy I actually wanted the 49ers to draft at safety in the third round. Ifitu Melifonwu was a draft crush of mine. I don't know if you guys even remember the Melly Hive. I love Ifitu. Ifi Melifonwu, and this is also too why I love like player evaluation, because this is a perfect example of having to take biases out of your evaluation. Ifitu's brother, Obi Melifonwu, was an I literally called him an insta bust. Um, I thought he was a terrible prospect. I think Obi Melifonwu, did he go in the first round? I think Obi went in he went in the second round. So Obi Melifonwu went in the second round to the Raiders. And I said that dude was an insta bust, like not good at all. It's really hard to get the insta bust tag from me, but when I say insta bust, I mean you are not surviving in the NFL. And that's exactly what happened. Obi Melifonwu flamed out the second he got into the league. Terrible player. I think he was even on the 49ers for a little bit, and they're like, "Yeah, no, we're good off that." But his brother was a completely different player, and his brother plays for the Detroit Lions, and I think his brother has been playing well as of late. So Ifitu Melifonwu, uh, he was a draft crush of mine. But again, I thought it was funny because his brother. It's funny. Ifitu was a draft crush. His brother was the insta bust. They are the furthest like on the spectrum for me of liking and disliking a player. And so far, I got that one right. So I'm 2 for 2 on the brothers. I feel like that's an again yet another indication that I know how to evaluate. That I can take 2 brothers, call one an insta bust, call one a draft crush, and they match. They match that. So uh we'll see, but I do think Brandon Ayuk might be a guy that could absolutely be featured uh, against this Lions defense. So we shall see. They have a good defensive line though, right? Aiden Hutchinson, Liam McNeil. I liked him coming out. I believe he was either coming out of South Carolina. I think a South school. I think it was South Carolina. No, was it South Carolina? No, I think it was like I can't remember off the top of my head. I can look right here. I was trying to get it. NC State. That's what it was. A different red and white team. Uh, he's a good interior defensive tackle. So that's going to be a guy that they're going to have to go up against. Um, Jack Campbell, obviously, their first round draft pick at linebacker, but it's going to be a good matchup right here, guys. I think the 49ers, I think the 49ers offensive line, or excuse me, the 49ers offense really does match up well against this defense. So I think we're going to see a completely different offense than we saw in that game against the Green Bay Packers. I think they're going to be able to knock all that rust off. I think there's a lot of rust. You know, I know you guys know that I was concerned. I was trying not to make it super known that I was concerned with the rust element. I think we did see that pop up. I think we saw some rust. I think we saw some rust from Kyle. I think we saw some rust from Purdy. I think we saw some rust from everyone. It's kind of what happens when you take that long of a break in the middle of your year, and they just never kind of like got it back on track. You know what I mean? Like they had the loss against the Ravens. They were able to go out, get the win against Washington, but they weren't able to like stack some games where they were able to kind of get back on track. It was they got the win, but then they went into that kind of like bye week against the Rams, and I don't know. Definitely felt like it was a combination of rust and rain, uh, made that game difficult. But the positive of that is that they overcame it, and they overcame it, and it didn't seem like they were going to at a certain point. I thought it was cool listening to John Lynch on KNBR. He even said he's like I consider myself a very optimistic person. I always have a sense of belief that we're going to win it. That's just who I am. That's who I was as a player. Very optimistic, and I know that there's anything we've learned about John Lynch is that's exactly who he is. He's a very optimistic person, and that's why he's great in the role that he plays within our franchise. But he was like, even I at one point thought the game was slipping away, and I was like, oh, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. And I know all of us feel that way too. I'm glad we all collectively felt like at one point that game was lost, and that's not indicative of being a optimistic or pessimistic or anything like that. That's literally what the game was telling us. The game was telling us that y'all need low key a miracle to get out of this one with a dub. And man, the you talk about needing luck in these types of games. You call it what you want, but man, that missed field goal, that missed field goal, crazy to look back and see. Just like I think the shot of belief that one, not only they get another chance, but they have a chance to win. I think it's a much different mentality if the 49ers are driving to tie. You know what I mean? Instead of driving to tie, they're driving to win. And I think that changes the play calling element of it. I think it changes the just the whole mindset. So them missing that kick, Brock Purdy snapping at Ray, the whole team locking in, getting another shot, going on a 6-minute drive, basically, and getting the touchdown there at the end, and then the defense stepping up big. Like I would say that game knocked off a lot of the rust. I mean, that got them back. That got them back really quickly, acclimated to an NFL game, NFL playoff game. So, the Lions, they didn't get any time off. They've been going since the wild card, and they had a tough one against the Rams. So they're a little bit banged up right now. So I still think the 49ers are going to be in a good spot. That game also knocked off years of my life. Yeah, 100%. It was funny because Dre Greenlaw today said that he blacked all the way out on that the interception. And honestly, I low key blacked out a little bit too. I low key blacked out a little bit too. I just couldn't believe it. Because we've talked about this. We've talked about this before. It's just like, man, the 49ers have been on the wrong side of game-winning drives, right? We've been on the wrong side. And you go back to 49ers Ravens Super Bowl. You go back to some previous NFC Championship games. We've been on the wrong side of being behind, of needing a score on the final drive. We've been on the wrong side of it. So we have some emotions. We have some, as they say, PTSD revolving those situations. So, man, for it to play out in our favor, I think I did low key blackout. Like, just I remember, and the reason why I do think I blacked out is because on my video that I was shooting of the Dre Greenlaw interception, um, after the fact, I went back and I watched it, and I'm screaming the entire video. You can hear me just going, "Ah!" Like I'm screaming the whole, like no breaths, just screaming. And the reason why that stands out to me is because when I'm filming, I'm quiet. So when I'm filming plays or I'm like trying to get content and stuff like that, and a big play happens, like if you were to look at me, like my face in those moments, I'm just like I'm pretending to scream, like I'm just like trying to maintain my composure so I can get the shot and not destroy the audio with my obnoxious sounds. But that, like, it was a completely unconscious. I blacked out. I was like, "He caught it!" Ah! I just screamed the whole thing. I was like, and I didn't notice until I went back and I watched. I was like, "Dang, that's me screaming the entire time." Um, but that's what that moment was, man. That's what that moment was. It was crazy. Um, it was absolutely crazy. Uh, couldn't believe it happened. I was trying to prepare myself for the worst. I think we all were. I think we were all in that boat of like, we've been here before. Let's prepare. We've been here before. All right, start numbing. Start. We're like telling our brains, start the numbing process. Start numbing all emotions and feelings and bury this down deep into the crevices of your mind that you hope you never stumble across again. I think we were all kind of in that mindset. So when it happened, when it went our way, when we scored, when we got the interception, I lost it. I freaked out. That was crazy. That was crazy. So good to see that we weren't the only ones to black out. I the fact that Greenlaw blacked out, totally understandable. Totally get it. Uh, eh, I get it. That's fine. I get it. I get it. I get it, Dre. I get it. No fault to you. Because I blacked out and I had no part in the game. I was just watching. Um, so yeah, man. What an experience. What an emotional roller coaster. But the point, I think the takeaway from that is that the 49ers are going to be better for that. They're going to be better for that. They're going to be like from it. I think it's hard to quantify, I think, if you've never played before. And even if you've played before, something like I talk about this all the time. I had a coach tell me one time, he says football is 85% mental and 15% physical. I didn't actually understand what he was saying to me until I was done playing football. Like I think that was either my freshman or sophomore year in college. He said it to me. I'm like, that's an interesting take because literally all we do is run into each other and see who could, run and, jump and block and do all that's, like, it's all physical. I was like, how is it only 15% physical? That doesn't even make sense. I didn't understand it until after. It's the 85% comes from being able to control your emotions, being able to understand the plan at place, understand your job, understand the technique that each individual play calls for. It's so mental because that's what practice is. That's why you practice. You practice all the technique, you get all the reps so that when you get into the game, all you're doing is reacting. That's what the point of it is you're just reacting. It's all muscle memory. It's ingrained into you. You don't need to think. It's a reaction. And the best ones are so strong mentally that they block out the emotion, they block out the pressure, they block out everything, and they just go and execute. And that's where that comes from. And so when you have that last game winning drive and you see the whole team just march down the field, they clicked over into that 85% mental and they owned it. They controlled it. And that's why they were able to go and execute because they were locked in. And I think that will translate to this next game. I do. I do. I'm confident. I'm confident. Listen, anything can happen, right? We know what it is. Any given Sunday. We talked about luck already. Anything can happen, right? But just from how I feel that game went, uh, and I think the sense of finality also too, the sense of everyone in that stadium thinking our season is over, including general manager, including head coach, including the players. The sense of finality provides a different level of perspective. It provides oh no, what if we fail perspective that might have existed prior to, man, enjoy every single moment and play like it's your last. And there's so much strength that comes from that mentality of being able to play like it's your last play. The mental flip that can happen and like the physiological changes that can occur from just believing with your whole heart that this could be my last play, this could be our last game. It changes the intensity, it changes the focus, it changes a lot of different things. And so that's why I think that's what the takeaway from that game is that they lost that game. They got outplayed in that game and they won it. And they know they have that feeling and they're going to do everything in their power to ensure that that does not happen again. I mean, that doesn't just automatically mean that won't happen. But if it does happen, guess guess what the guess what the psychology will be. Oh, we've been here, we've done that. We've been here before. We can do this. We can handle this. We're in this game no matter what. So, after last week, we're ready. We're ready for anything. We're ready for anything because last week was insane. So, Detroit, coming down to come visit San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, I'd also I also do think there's an element where the away element does play a factor. Um, the fact that they're on the road, I do think it plays a little bit of a factor. Um, because I can say this from tracking Jared Goff from a dynasty perspective. Um, he plays worse on the road. I even use this in DFS, if you're using sleeper, I even used that thought process to bet against Goff because he doesn't play as well on the road. There's a clear he plays lights out at home and on the road, not so much. Um, so I do think there's a true home field advantage. I do. I think that if Levi's can get loud and I sat in the lower bowl last week. I was in the 100 level. We stood the whole game. I sat down because I needed to sit down, not because I actually could sit down, because everyone stood. So everyone stood in the lower bowl. So I thought, based on that being my reality, that was the reality of the whole stadium. But I guess in the upper bowls, like 300, 400, apparently a lot of people were sitting, and that's not the environment that we need for this NFC Championship game. We need all 68,000 on their feet for 3 hours. Like, we need everyone's voice to be gone. Like, this, I really do believe in my heart that the 49ers fans can impact this game. I think that with the level of noise, you could absolutely impact that offense and Jared Goff. And yes, the average ticket price is 2,000, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of crowd we get at Levi's. I mean, the hope is that the diehards aren't priced out. That's really the hope, is that the diehards aren't priced out. But we got to be loud, man. We got to be loud. We got to be on our feet. Energy. I heard some complaints. I had a good experience based on where I was sitting. Everyone was up. Everyone was hyped. But I was sitting around, season ticket holders and stuff like that. So maybe that's why the experience was a little different. But man, we need all 68 going crazy. Lil Heater says, "Why can't someone give you a ticket hookup yet? Don't they know you have 100K?" I don't know if they know. I don't know if they know. I don't know. Do they know that do they know I'm verified? Ooh. I don't know if they know. But yeah, no, it's going to be, regardless of what happens, like, I just want faithful to be loud. I want the faithful to be on their feet. I want constant screaming throughout defense. I want constant chants. I want Levi's to turn into the Coliseum, like the old school gladiator Coliseum, where we're talking about life or death. Like, that's what I want the type of intensity to be like from all the fans that are going. Is This is it. This is our shot. And we have to. I heard this too. The last drive was the loudest I've heard Levi's. I I'll never forget. I'll never forget when Dre Greenlaw picked off that ball. I could feel the floor going like this. I was like, it's like Levi's is shaking right now. Like, I need more of that. I want that. I want that on, like, a third down in the second quarter. You know what I mean? I'm a little greedy. Like, I want that same type of energy that we had on the final like pick. I want that in like the second quarter. I want, man, if you're going to the game, y'all gotta be crazy. This is it. This is it, man. You know, a lot of us definitely won't have the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. So this is it. We gotta make our presence felt. Like we already know we got the best fan base in the league when it comes to traveling, but let's make it the loudest. Like we gotta be crazy loud. Uh Emperor Broctavius, 100%. So or we are a couple sleeps away. We're a couple sleeps away from a shot at a Super Bowl. 4 quarters. 4 quarters, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I got to go. I got to go. I can't not go. Um I got to go for sure. Uh it's just going to hurt my heart a little bit. But yeah, we got to go. See, so this is how I'm thinking of it is I have it I think it might have to be dependent on if the 49ers win or lose. Like I want to go, but I just don't know how. Because again, my number one goal and responsibility is to cover the 49ers. If I go to the Senior Bowl, I am covering the draft and I am doing draft prep work, but I wouldn't be covering the 49ers because I would be covering the Senior Bowl. So I really think what it's really going to come down to is I might have like it's dependent on if the 49ers win or lose. I think it really is going to be if the 49ers lose, I might have to try to book my flight out on Monday so that I could be in Mobile by Tuesday for practice. But like I said, if they also win, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. Uh yeah, it's a hard spot. I really want to go to the Senior Bowl. I really want to go to the Shrine Bowl, but it's like it's a phenomenal problem to have because my team's still fighting for a Super Bowl. So it's definitely it's a tough problem to have. So I think it really is going to come down to if they win. If they win, I might have to pass on the Senior Bowl. I still get all the film. Yes, I still get all the film. I get all the film, so that I'll still be able to watch all that, and I'll still be able to do it from afar. Um, so we'll get all the practice film. I'll get all the practice film from the Shrine Bowl. I also really wanted to go to the Shrine Bowl. Guess who? Guess who's going to the Shrine Bowl? Frank Gore Jr. I was like, ah, it's like, dang it. It's like I would love to talk to Frank Gore Jr. That would be fire. Um, so man, are you coordinating a GoFundMe? You guys are the best. I love you guys. I love you guys. Steve says there is no if we win in Dub City. Hey, I like that. I like that for sure. Uh, that's the type of energy I'm vibing with. I feel very confident. like I said, I feel more confident playing against the Lions than I do against the Packers. I think I had more concern for the Packers than I do Detroit. And that's not to disrespect Detroit at all. It's to give respect to the Packers, how they're coached, how they were playing. They were playing really well. They were playing really well. Um am I a descendant of sourdough Sam? That's funny that you asked that. That's actually my dad. So my dad is sourdough Sam. That's actually why we call ourselves the sourdough squad. That's why we go by SDS. That's why we're the bread gang because Pops is sourdough Sam. We got the same color beard and everything. That's yes. I'm 100% for real. That's my dad. Like, do you not see the resemblance? Like that's we're the same person. That's my dad right there. Uh, I mean, it's wild. Some say that, I might be, what do they call that? Nepotism? Nepotism because my dad's sourdough Sam, but it's like, you know what? I earned this right to cover the 49ers. That might be dad and he might be a public figure with the 49ers, but I earned that right. I earned the right. Look at dad, man. Look at dad. I mean, that's dad. Look at dad. Come on, man. How inspirational is that? Like that I don't have blue eyes, but I mean, come on. That's that's pops right there. That's pops. What's up, dad? I need the hat though. I don't have the hat. I need the hat. I don't have it. But I get accused of nepotism from time to time. Uh, but hey, it's fine. I work hard. I grind. It's it's weird having a famous parent, you know, because they just kind of assume, everything and they judge you already off the bat, but it's like it's all good. It's all good. Just because that's dad doesn't, so shout out dad. No, that's literally why that's how the SDS that's why when I say drop an SDS in the chat is literally sourdough squad because of dad. That's it. That's like literally the origin story of our community is built around sourdough Sam. So that every time I say dropping SDS, we're shouting out pops. It's like a hat tip, like hey pops, SDS, like hey. Oh my goodness. Oh, hashtag breadwinners. Let's go. Let's go. Uh he said the dough changed him. Nice. I like that. All right, guys. I've had fun. We're gonna do prediction Friday tomorrow. Prediction Friday tomorrow. I'm gonna see how confident we are tomorrow. Dad, come on, Dad, you can do it. Shout out to all you guys. Appreciate everyone. Grab your cookies on the way out. We'll be back. Prediction Friday tomorrow. You already know the vibes. Appreciate everyone for tapping in. Surprised that we already won an hour. I guess time flies when you're blacked out and you're winning divisional round playoff games by the skin of your teeth. That's how it goes. Levi's going up Sunday, 100%. Drop a like on your way out. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. I kind of agree. I would love a blowout, but we'll see. We'll see what we get. It's probably going to be a competitive one, but appreciate all you guys. I'm out of here for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to